Hello everyone and welcome to the webinar today. I'll give you all a few minutes to come on in and get your Zoom set up all sorted. Obviously today you can see on screen, hopefully you can see on screen, we're going to be talking about how to automate your Making Tax Digital client communications and get your website resource ready. So we'll be talking through the website part of it as well. So I'll give you all a few minutes like I said, but while you wait, please send us a message in the chat just to say hello and let us know you got everything set up all right. You can see I've got Jordan from BizInc in the chat as well. He's going to be moderating for us and putting a few useful links in as we go. I'd be really keen to know whereabouts in the UK you are based. I'm keen to brush up on my UK geography. You may have picked up my accent. I'm based in Australia, so I'll give you a proper intro in a second, but I'd be keen to know where you're all joining from. Kat has asked how long the session is, so I'm aiming for about 30-ish minutes. I'm not exactly sure, I haven't timed it to the dot, sorry, but yeah, I don't intend to drag on for too long. So, but the other thing is the session will be recorded, so I'm happy to send you a copy. Everyone will be getting a copy of the recording afterwards, so you can go back and catch up on anything you missed if you need to leave early. So I'm just seeing all the names of the cool places that you're joining from. So based near Liverpool. Hey Alan, how you doing? Berkshire, Bracknell near Reading. I'm probably pronouncing all these wrong. So it's really cool. Wales, Scotland. Awesome to see you all here, and thanks a lot for joining. So just a bit about today's session. Obviously, you know, MTD for VAT is expanding to, you know, this April to include all VAT registered businesses, and with, you know, it's on the horizon in 2024. It's, you know, some big changes coming, as you're well aware, and we know that a lot of firms are, you know, busy updating their internal systems, their tech and workflow and that sort of stuff to go through those changes. But obviously there's another side of this as well, which is communicating with clients, and sometimes that's not quite as easy as you might think. Or maybe it's not so easy. You're the ones dealing with clients, and I know sometimes they can be unresponsive to emails and things. So you may have a bit of an idea already about how that's going to go down for you. But that's what we're trying to help you with today, is a few smart automations and useful resources, pre-written templates and things I'll go through in detail that should help you. So feel free to send through any questions you have as we go along. I do have time for a Q&A at the end, like a dedicated time, but if you have a question that relates to something I'm talking about at the time, feel free to pop it in the chat as you are, or in the Q&A. I've got them both up on screen, and Jordan does too. So I think we can get into it. A bit about me, I'm Anthea, I'm Head of Growth at BizInc. I'm based in Australia, like I mentioned, but I've been working a lot with UK-based firms, and obviously MTD is a big project at the moment. I also specialise in zero firms in particular as well. So if that's you, we may have a few extra resources for you too. BizInc helps accountants and bookkeepers with marketing. So we have a digital marketing platform that includes blogs written for you, automatic social media posting, a monthly newsletter that you can edit, that sort of stuff. So you can probably already pick up that our main goal is to save you time with marketing, because the majority of our clients would admit they don't have maybe the skills or the time, or consider themselves a writer, all the sort of stuff that may you know, sort of put barriers in the way to doing marketing. So that's what we aim to solve for you as well, just as a bit of intro. So I'm going to get into it. I'm just going to launch some polls here, if you don't mind. I've got two just at the start. So the first one just is, hopefully you can see this on screen. What resources do you have available for your clients right now? So the options are none, limited resources here and there, you know, maybe multiple resources on your website, some of you that might be more prepared or have a page like that. If none of those seem to quite suit you, maybe, you know, message me in the chat if you've got something else that's a bit different for that. But I'm just keen to hear where, you know, where you're sort of at, and that might help me today as well. So I'll just give you a couple more seconds to do that, and then I'll launch another one as well. Thank you for bearing with me in the polls at the start. So I'll close that one off now. can share these results with you as well. So we've got limited resources here and there, and then none. So if you can tell me, I'll stop sharing that. If you can tell me what those limited resources are in the chat, that would be great. Otherwise we can, connect for a call after as well. But just, whether that might be some links you put together, or a website page, or a blog or two, or even just, link to HMRC's website or something like that. I'd be keen to know what sort of info you've got together, and hopefully we can help fill the gaps there as well. And I've just got one other poll here as well. So, thanks, Noah. He's mentioned a blog post. That's great. That's a perfect start, and one of the things we'll be talking about today. So thanks for that. I've just got this last poll for you today. So, sorry, I forgot to put a title, but it's, do you use marketing automation to send regular comms to clients? So, marketing automation might be something like, even social media scheduling, social media posting tools, email newsletters, drip emails, that sort of stuff. People could be at different stages of their journey here. So we've got a bit of a split here as well. Majority no though. So hopefully we can help you with that today as well, if that's something you're wanting to do, because obviously automation's a big time saver when you use it right. So thanks a lot for filling in those polls. And I just want to pause here and just talk a bit about why we're on this session, why we're talking about this today. Obviously, you guys are aware of the changes coming and how big that might be, but I believe it's a big opportunity for you to stand out from the crowd here as well. If you're being proactive about this, I know many accountants and bookkeepers have it on their to-do list. They know it's upcoming, but maybe haven't done so much about it. You may be at a different stage as well, but yeah, like that earlier poll showed, maybe some resources could be more useful in that space as well. So obviously it's also about creating a good experience for your clients. So, my accountant proactively reached out to me and stepped me through this process. It's a pretty nice experience for a client, and hopefully one that we can help you deliver. And then there's also the fact that it just keeps you top of mind with your clients and also prospects too. So it's obviously a growth opportunity here too. So that's why we're looking at this today. So I'll get into the parts that we recommend you have on your website and in your marketing to deliver this. So I'll get on to the next slide here, which is going to revolve around websites, everything we talk about today. So obviously you can see on screen, your website should be your hub to communicate with clients, with prospects and partners as well. So I'm grouping all of them together. It can be a resource hub for multiple people here too. And like I said, it's all about creating that good experience for everyone too. But obviously your clients can be, good referrers for you as well. Hopefully in 2022, I don't have to tell you why you need a website, although if you do need a hand with one, feel free to reach out. Obviously, it gives you a good online presence, and that's often the first reason people would set up a website, right, when starting a business. It makes you look professional, makes you look like a real business, right? And then often for accounting firms, it might develop into growth through referrals typically. And we find that a lot of people will still check out your website to sort of seal the deal with that referral, right? So they might end up on your about page and check you out. Often we find that to be a popular page. So that's the role of, one typical role of a website. But what we're going to talk about today is how you can use your website as like a resource hub, a place to keep your clients coming back to, a place that they would bookmark, a place where you can, obviously generate leads and that sort of stuff as well, convert interested people that might be looking at your site, but also get them to come back and keep them informed. So I'm going to show you practical examples of how we do that throughout this webinar. First up, I would start with the Making Tax Digital Resources page. I've just got a screenshot here of the one I've put together, which features like a waterfall drop-down menu. So that has some key information, what is Making Tax Digital, what's, sort of upcoming, that sort of stuff. And then I've also got what I think are some frequently asked questions as well. So this page is free for BizInc clients. If you'd like to request this, if there's any Byzant clients on the call that would like a page like this added to your website, maybe just type add into the chat and I'll get back to you and get it added to your site next week for you if this is something you're looking for. Obviously, this is editable too. So, you know, this has just picked up the color scheme of our demo website. All that sort of stuff can change. Doesn't have to be a waterfall drop down like this one is. I just think it's a good way to combine a bunch of information. And there's obviously, you can edit the content, add your own questions, add your own links. And I intend to develop this out more too, as you know, particularly the obvious one is, you know, ITSA in 2024, we're going to have different stuff there then as well. So thanks a lot to all of you that have put that. I'll be in touch with you next week when that's ready, and we'll work with you to tweak the page to suit you. But sort of back to the more bigger picture here, the idea here is that you would have a page on your website that can save you a bunch of time in answering questions time and time again. You can use this to send out information and like, you know, maybe you're doing an email, it can link to this page. You might have a client, you know, asking you a question over email, send them a link here, that sort of stuff. So it's a big time saver for you. And obviously, you know, it could be something that ranks in Google when people are searching for these sorts of questions as well. So it has those sorts of obvious benefits as well as just, you know, saving you time as well. So I'd recommend something like this. I think it's an obvious first step. You know, that would be added into a menu, maybe under resources or something like I'll show you on our demo site shortly. And yeah, like I said, you could also send it out to clients in dedicated emails, like I'll show you in a tick. So the next thing, which I believe Noah has already started, is blogging. So it's a really easy way to communicate with people via your website. So we've got a page there, like we just spoke about on the previous slide, but now we can send out regular updates through a blog. So you might call blogs, updates or insights or articles or whatever you might refer to them on your website. It's the good old blog is a great way to keep your website up to date. There's a few other benefits as well. It's a central place that your clients can come back to for like timely information as well. On our platforms, it can automatically publish to social media pages like that. So it's a good sort of, like I'm saying, central place for that info. It can also just help showcase your expertise and position you as the expert, right? It shows the type, I believe it shows the type of firm you run as well, one that is proactive, helpful, informative, one who cares about educating their clients. Don't think any of those sorts of things could hurt you, right? To keep updating your website with relevant, timely information that people are going to be asking you about anyway. So, and obviously the downside of this is it just takes time to write the blogs. Let me know if that resonates with you as well, or maybe you have resources for this, but I've spoken to hundreds of accountants and I know many realize the benefits of this sort of stuff, but there's big barriers there to, finding the time to write content, knowing where to start. I find a blank Word doc can be a pretty awful place to start, right? So, or, hiring someone to write can be costly as well. So what we do is have a library of pre-written content because we specialize in accounts that are going through these challenges as well, and we can partner with people like Xero as well. We can get some real specific info flowing into the back end of our clients' sites with blogs I'm about to show you that you can then edit and send out to your clients, update your website that way. So that's exactly how we help. We have a library of these articles. We've just added the Making Tax Digital blog today. If there's any Byzant clients on today, you might see that flowing through shortly with more on the way. That's the idea as well. So the next thing I would do is for each of those blog posts, I would try and amplify them basically. So you can repurpose and repost this content as well. So for each blog post, I would probably be creating about 5 related social media posts. You've already written the content, or we've already written the content, or whoever's, got that sorted. Once you've done it, pull out little snippets, 5, you might make 10, depending on, especially if you've sort of done an overview blog, it might have a bunch of little FAQs in there as well. Just get some short snippets. It doesn't have to be anything fancy, for social media. Just pick out different parts of the blog, turn them into text and image based content, And there's tools out there that can make this look great, like Canva. And we've actually got some templates, like Canva templates as well. So we've already done the designing of it. You can then add your brand and change the colors. So I'll talk through that in a second as to how we're delivering that to you. But hopefully that can go one step further for you as well and save you time there too. So if you do have a few blogs, then you've got 5 social media posts for each, with all of those social media posts linking back to your website. It's a great way just to keep your social media posts up to date. And, these posts can be recycled and reposted, particularly if they're more evergreen content. So obviously there's going to be some timely content around April 2022, April 2024, that sort of stuff. But if it's more evergreen, definitely go ahead and repost that stuff. Don't be afraid. Not everyone's going to see it on Facebook. Not everyone's going to log in, all that sort of stuff. So keep putting that content out in front of people. Just to pause here, my default sort of sites to recommend to you would be Facebook and LinkedIn for most firms. Obviously, this can depend on your target market. If you really work with restaurants or creatives, they might be more on Instagram. That might be your go-to place. And that might just be, Canva to create a few social media, like image posts for that might be all you need to do there as well. So I would always pick where you go based on where your ideal clients are, but that's probably a whole nother webinar in that anyway. But that's probably what I'd recommend starting with anyway. It's just good once you have those pages to keep them up to date. So that's why working on one bigger piece of content and breaking it down or turning it into 5 or 10 other little ones gives you so much content to work with. So Pradeep's just asked, is there any reason why we can't post on LinkedIn business page from our website? So for those who don't know, BizInc websites automatically publish to a few social media pages. It's just LinkedIn doesn't let you, unfortunately. LinkedIn only allows you to go to a personal page. And we find that that's where you get the most engagement anyway. So we haven't, that's sort of been where we've focused anyway. But unfortunately, that's just a LinkedIn limit basically there. But yeah, as I'm saying, BizInc has automatic social media posts set up, which is linked to the blog. So there's sort of a reason I'm talking about it in this order as well, is that there's a website, there's a page on there that sits there, but there's also a place, the blog, the hub you can come back to, which keeps other things up to date too. So that's social media. With the blogs written and then, amplifying them through social media, I would also be doing that through email. I know that some people do consider email to be a bit old-fashioned, but it actually has the highest return on investment of any type of digital marketing, particularly for accountants. We've sent millions of emails. We send millions of emails for accountants every year through our platform, and the open and click-through rates outperform like MailChimp's benchmark and average that they release. And that's because, you may or may not believe it, but people open emails from their accountants, right? And it's just a much better platform. Everyone has most of our clients, we're focusing on small business owners. Everyone has an email, everyone has an inbox, right? Not everyone has an Instagram page, for example. So it's just a better way to reach people in their spot they're checking daily. Obviously, it's about the type of content and the type of emails you're sending to. I'm very aware of that, but it has a very high ROI. So if you're not considering it, I would highly encourage you. This is probably one of the main things after a website that I would encourage you to be doing. It doesn't have to be anything big. There's a few types of emails that I would recommend though. I would send a series of email blasts to your clients, and probably one relating to each blog. And we've got that written for you today, which I'll be sending you details of. And I'd probably send about one email blast per month. So with an email blast, I'm usually referring to something that has usually one topic. So, probably it's the Making Tax digital changes coming in April this year, right? For example, that's one thing you might talk about, versus a newsletter, which might have a few more. I'm sure you've been on the receiving end of a newsletter before. So these add value. They could lead to more work as well for the clients that need help with the topics that you're emailing about, and they can obviously get forwarded to other people as well, which is one benefit of it too. And, it doesn't just have to be sent to clients, obviously prospects, if you have a list of people that have opted in for your newsletter or your email list. And you could also send it to other partners as well, so other referral partners or business colleagues and that sort of stuff. So it just keeps top of mind with everyone there, basically. I'd send the same information to prospects, like I'm saying as well, just to keep showing that you're the expert, you're the one putting out this helpful information like I touched on earlier. It's just about positioning you too. And I think these blogs would make, great sections in your newsletter as well. So you might have some other general information. We have a library of pre-written content about, common business pain points like cash flow and business planning and that sort of stuff. So you might have a mixture of that type of content as well as, timely important updates like Making Tax Digital that affects them. So a bit of a mixture in a newsletter usually. You might also have, a bonus resource or a free download or something like that if you want to be a bit fancier with it as well. So there's a few other things you can do in a newsletter versus an email blast, which is usually just one thing like I mentioned. So if you do want to be a bit more advanced with email though, you can also use email automation to follow people up. And this is also a part of BizInc's built-in email marketing platform as well. So automated emails are sometimes called drip sequences or nurturing emails. They're a sequence of emails that are triggered and then sent automatically, whether that's just one or a sequence of them, and obviously sent to a certain list. So for example, people might sign up to a free trial of a software. They might get an automated email in their inbox straight away with a link to log in and check that out. They might get, a day later, they might get an email asking how they're going. Maybe 7 days in, they get, all right, your trial's ended. Do you want to sign up? That sort of stuff. I'm sure you probably had a similar situation yourself. So for you, that might be more like, hey, did you like our ebook we sent you on blah, blah, blah topic? Do you want to chat about that? But for Making Tax Digital, it might be, okay, as the compliance requirements are getting closer to the date, you might have to send more and more important reminders depending on who's responded or not, so you can segment those people out. So this might sound like a bit more to think about, particularly if you haven't done any email marketing before. But honestly, we've got these things built into the back end of our system if you're looking for help with that from us. Otherwise, there are some smart tools out there as well that can get you started too. Obviously, having the content written is the next step as well. So we've got a bunch of that stuff sorted, and that's part of our goal to deliver a lot more of that to you as well. Pradeep's just asked about templates in our website for email blasts. So apart from newsletters, so we have 3 types of emails in the back end of our website. So we have email blasts, and we have mail templates on that. So I'll be delivering you a Making Tax Digital one next week. We have automated emails. So that's just what I'm touching on there is, maybe it's, okay, here's what you need to do. We've identified you are a client that's going to be affected by the Making Tax Digital change next month. Here's what you need to do. If they don't reply, 3 days later they get another one, or 7 days later or whatever. So it's like a sequence of emails. Maybe the subject line changes to urgent, that sort of stuff. So we can definitely do that sort of stuff. I'm definitely very keen though to hear from you what resources might support you. And like I said, we've got a bunch we're going to share with you, but there might be some gaps there. We really want to help deliver more of that to you. So if there's a sequence like that you feel might work, let me know. If there's an email that you had in mind that you wanted written, or a question your client's asking you, please type it in the chat or email me. I'll give you my email towards the end. I've got it on slides. So I'll just go to probably the final tactic in our campaign, which is an event or a webinar. You could use, the structure we've sort of talked about to create a live event or a webinar. So I know events are tried and tested marketing tactic for accountants. Obviously, with the pandemic and all that, it's starting to come back now. A webinar can replace in-person events with a similar effect, but it's obviously not quite the same. It's a different sort of setup, as we are all probably very aware. You could you could deal with sort of an overview, you could do just a client event, you might just have to work out how you sort of run that. If it's a webinar, I'll share my tips right here. You're probably, learning them as we go. I'd probably record it. I'd do a special offer for attendees like we're doing here. So that encourages people to come along. You might do free downloads and things like that as well. So there's a few different tactics you can do there. For Making Tax Digital, Xero have like a free cheat sheet, so that could be a good sort of free download for anyone, right? Or then there might also be something that you gate behind a form to capture leads as well. There's a bunch of different marketing tactics you can do alongside this. I would also then put the webinar recording or the event recording on YouTube. That can help with obviously sharing to people a lot easier, but it can also help with SEO as well. So that's how you can get one simple idea of, communicating a Making Tax Digital update, and you can spin it into a whole marketing campaign with a website, blog, social media posts, multiple types of email marketing, and potentially even an event if you just want to talk it through with clients and they can get a chance to ask their questions and that sort of stuff. It could be a great way to keep in touch with them, as I've touched on. So I can actually show you this in action if you'd like. I've alluded a bit to what's included in BizInk's website. So I'm going to, bear with me, exit full screen and go into the back end of BizInk's demo site just to show you a few things. So I've jumped into I will go back here, bear with me, sorry. I've jumped into the post section, which is where our blog sits. I've mentioned we have a library of blog posts that are pre-written for you. This is one we've just added recently about Making Tax Digital, which you will be getting in the free marketing pack, which I will be sending you the link to register for if you would like to receive our, this blog is included in it. If you would like to receive that sort of stuff, it's all included there for you. Obviously, like I'm saying, it flows into the back end of our websites and our hubs that we build. But if you just want a DIY sort of an option, that's the perfect sort of place for you. So you can edit the content to suit you, of course. If it's just not quite worded the way you want it worded, or you want to add something else, feel free to change the content to suit you, whether that's in the back end of a BizInk website or that marketing pack option I'm talking about. So step one, as we've discussed, publish that can automatically publish to social media and keep that up to date as well in the back end of our sites. Just while we're on social media, another thing we'll be sending you is a Canva link. You can sign up for a free Canva account if you don't have one. It's a great way to do this sort of stuff. We've got, so this is the Making Tax Digital Marketing Pack, the customizable Canva templates. So we've got a few different templates in here that you can use. You're welcome to, obviously, there's a spot there to replace with your logo. You're welcome to change the colors and anything you'd like, really. It might just inspire a few ideas for you too. So that's some of the Canva social media templates we've got for you there. And then email marketing. So we've got an email marketing system with a bunch of templates in here. So email blast is probably the obvious one to start with because we've got the template there. So just to show you really quickly, very related to that blog that we've got there as well, a bit of an overview. It's for clients you've identified that might be affected by the April changes. So you can send them the information with what they need to do. So we've got the templates for that. As I'm saying, you can get sort of the Word doc version in this marketing pack that I'll show you. But if you're a BizInk website client, you can get it flowing through, and this can have obviously your branding on it as well. So those are the main things. I'll just jump back to my slides now. 1 second, just let me get up my notes. I'm really sorry to do that to you. All right, go full screen. So I really quickly showed you what we've got in the back end of our sites. I'll just talk you through properly now what I've been alluding to along the way, which is our free Making Tax Digital Marketing Pack. So Jordan will be pasting a link in the chat in a second where you can sign up for free to this. On screen here is just a screenshot of the pre-written blog I was just showing you as well. So you get that a blog, you get some email templates, and the social media posts I just quickly showed you as well. You get access to all of that in BizInk's website. And the idea here is that we are going to be updating this regularly with new content. So we want to write a few other types of emails. So obviously this April 22 change is the main goal, but there's a few different ways you can word that. And like I'm saying, the reminders might get a bit more urgent, right? So we've got a few other ideas to add there shortly. And again, with ITSA changes coming up on the horizon, there'll be more content relating to that as it comes up. So you can either access these in the back end of your BizInc website for those that have asked me to add that, or you can just log in through the BizInc website and download the content, then go edit, publish, and use it yourself in your marketing. So Jordan's got a link to that. Please feel free to sign up for that completely free product, and we will keep adding new content there for you as well. So I hope you've seen how this Making Tax Digital information can be quite easy with BizInc support. I know that time is a pain point for many of you though, so BizInc can help get this happening for you. As I mentioned, we specialize in websites and digital marketing for accountants and bookkeepers. So if you'd like to chat with me, I'd be more than happy to talk through, obviously the actual implementation for your firm, and figure out how we can help. Jordan will paste a link to my calendar where you can book a meeting with me. There'll also be an exit survey on this webinar that asks you if you'd like us to get in touch or not, so you can let me know that way too if you prefer. But if you're ready to book a meeting or just have a few other questions, I'd be more than happy to talk through in that call. So we've just got time now for a Q&A. If anyone has any questions, please feel free to type them in to the Q&A panel or the chat panel. I've got them both open here. I can keep an eye on them. So please let me know if there's anything you would like to see as well. That's something probably my question for you is, what would you like to see added to that marketing pack next? Particularly, I think a good place to start is to think about what questions your clients are asking you. Often that can be a really good place to start with marketing is, if your clients are asking you, it's very likely that other small business owners out there are asking or Googling. If you can be the one that puts that sort of content on your website and gets seen, that's a big advantage. So if anyone has any questions, feel free to type them through. I've also got my email up on screen, hello@bizinconline.com if you would like to email if something comes up later on. Alison's just got a good question. Do you work with those that have existing websites? Yes, we do. Sorry, I didn't make that clear. We do also have like a client hub option, which is actually really, MTD is probably a brilliant way to position that. So I won't go into detail just here. It's a hub basically, so you can actually, I will exit this full screen and just bring up. This is one we've recently built for Canadian clients. So it's for people that already have a website that they're happy with. They don't need help rebuilding it or anything like that. We can build you a hub. This one is for a Canadian firm that wants to focus a lot on Xero. So that's sort of how we're positioning this hub, so that they can get on our platform and access our resources in the back end. So all the things I showed you just before with blogs and email marketing is all built into the back end. We've also got a bunch of Xero resources and things for them in here. And for you, that could be Making Tax Digital stuff. So that Making Tax Digital landing page I've mentioned, that can definitely be added to your hub as well if you wanted that. And like I'm mentioning, we've also got a marketing pack. So if you don't want something, if you don't need email marketing, say you've already got that sorted, you just want content, then this Making Tax Digital marketing pack that Jordan sent the link to is for you then. So we got three sort of options broadly: website with it all inbuilt, hub for Making Tax Digital content, and just content that you can go away and use yourself. So hopefully that clears that up, but let me know if you have any other questions about that. Just got a question from someone just about, you've picked up I'm based in Australia, and just asking how extensive our resources are for the UK market. We're actually, I am based in Australia. We do actually have plenty of clients in the UK though. We're a global business, and it's definitely a really big focus for us as well. So we're working closely with the likes of Xero too to deliver a few of those sorts of resources. And as I've shown, we've got plenty of Making Tax Digital resources here on every point I've mentioned. So the website here we're looking at right on screen, blogs, social media posts, email templates. If you have a specific request, I'd very much like to hear that though. If there's something else that could help you, I would love to develop it if it's going to be suitable. So feel free to email me anytime if you have a specific request on that. So I think that's all of the questions that I can see. As I'm saying, I'll just flick this up full screen as well so you can just see it. Email on screen, website on screen. You've got the link to sign up for free, the link to book a meeting, wherever you're up to. If you'd like to, I would encourage you to have a chat. I'm more than happy to talk through how this might work for you and anything else you might like to discuss. So I'll wrap it up there if there's no more questions. I very much appreciate your time today. Thanks so much for joining me. I hope that's helped you figure out how you can use your website to communicate these sorts of information. And I hope that I've communicated as well that it doesn't have to be as hard as it probably looks with a bunch of these templates already provided for you. You're definitely not starting from scratch here. So hopefully you can see how this could support you with that free pack we're going to add to regularly anyway. So feel free to jump in there and get started and let me know if you have any other questions. Otherwise, I thank you very much for your time and I will see you later. Thanks a lot, guys.